So another way, the two gap theory. So another is to rely on the foreign capital to fill these gaps. To look outside a gap for funds, which is use of foreign resources. For example, when a foreign capital is used to import machinery and equipment, on one side, this import is temporary, not offset by the exports. On the other hand, the investment needs no domestic savings to make it up. It can be seen that the utilization of foreign capital can make up for two gaps. At the same time, which can not only meet the investment needs, but also reduce the pressure of paying the import fees so as to ensure the economic growth. Therefore, the country must enhance the utilization rate of the foreign capital and make it indirectly or directly promote the exports increase and therefore to increase the saving and increase the solvency. But for the foreign capital, they sometimes have the important way to achieve the rapid growth and can solve the capital bottleneck. The capital bottleneck means as investment cannot the capital cannot for increase to the unlimited extent. That means there are some ceiling to reach after a certain amount. They cannot increase unlimitedly in a developing country. And that's why cause the utilization of the foreign capital is very important because all those capitals will be repaid. They should cost something, not costless. And the definition of the gaps means there are some constraints on the economic growth, such as the size of the saving and the foreign exchange reserves and technology capacities and foreign resources. The model is called Harris-Thomas model. That is a basic promise, savings equal to investment. That is a pre-assumption. That means basic condition of the economic growth. But when the domestic saving is insufficient to support the growth of the ideal space, then there will be a savings gap, such as savings, foreign exchange, or government revenue or technology. When the savings is insufficient to support the growth at the ideal speeds, the gap is insufficient. The gap, or another name is insufficient fund, will hinder the economic growth. And that will cause the external funds to fill those gap that becomes necessary for the balanced economy developments. And thus, two gap model is have showed on this. The notes that is the total supply is the consumption and savings and taxation. That is total supply. That the Y is equal to C plus S plus T plus M. Denotes consumption, savings, and taxation and imports respectively. The next equation is total demand is C plus I plus G plus X. That is the consumption, investments, and government expenditure and exports. When the export is equal to the government, or when the taxation is equal to the government expenditure, we assume this government has balanced budgets. That means the total tax collected can just equal to the government's expenditure. So in this way, that formula can be equalized. That is that is S plus M equal to I plus X. Or move those to different sides, I minus S is equal to M minus X. The first is the previously introduced the savings gap. The latter, the M minus X, is foreign exchange gap. So that is how those gap is defined. How those gap are defined. And the model emphasize the needs for developing countries to utilize external resources. The introduction of external resources can improve a country's export capacity, makes virtuous. Virtuous means with a bad result or not a good outcome of the cycle, means from starting from the bad and end at a bad, with a bad start and bad end. That means virtuous cycle of the high income and high savings appear and allocate the resources more reasonably. In the introduction of the external resource, the domestic economic structure need to be adjusted to meet the requirements of the introduction of external resources. And at the same time, the government should play its role in regulating the economic activities. And introducing the external resources is very important. And it's from 1970s to 1990s. The developing countries and the regions in East Asia achieve a rapid economic development by introducing external resources. In China, the development history tells us the introduction of external resources must pay attention to when introduce external resources, we must emphasize the benefit of the resource utilization to achieve the highest benefits. In order to achieve the proposed goal of the introduction of the external capital. And the economic analysis of this introduction of capital, that cycle starting at the bad thing and ending at the bad thing refers to for example, in the low per capita income developing country, which leads to a low savings and lead to the insufficient capital formation, and leads to the low productivity and low income. And the low income means the low purchasing power that will lead to the underinvestment. That means the insufficient investment of those population. That will lead to a low productivity and eventually will lead to the low income. So I just like the dialogue to start from bad and eventually cannot prevent the bad ending. Simply put, the reason why you are poor is because you are poor. When the cycle adds to the international inequality, it exacerbates the difficulties of developing countries. It is widely believed that if the money can be put into people, the cycle may be broken. Therefore, the introduction of external resources such as capital, technology, and the human production process is one of the efficient ways to break the bad cycle. And the bad cycle is can be so if that's it's widely believed that by people that if the foreign capital can be injected into the economies, the bad cycle may be broken and it can be changed, convert to the good cycle, starting from with money and ending with a rich person. So rich country. So that's what the foreign capital can benefit economy. So analysis of this best foreign investment introduction means when the economy has some external, there is a limit to how much an economy can import from outside resources, and it seems a common sense that this should not be a problem because it's obviously that we should try to attract the external resource.